And I think that although I don't think they're going as all in as they need to, they're just saying, let's just take a stab at it before we truly tear everything down and rebuild.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Underrated Podcast, the podcast where we talk to you about everything sports. If it's sports, we got it here. We're just gonna talk about the trade deadline and the acquisition from the trade deadline, the winners and losers from the trade deadline, and just rehashing the old memories we've had from past trade deadlines and how they've affected, I guess, teams' credibility going into the playoffs or just tanking getting the first overall pick. That's how it works. But this year's trade deadline was how would you say that this year's trade deadline was?
It was all right. I'd say there was a lot of depth moves this trade. There wasn't a lot of the blockbuster deals you normally see. And that's because, again, at the flat cap, you saw a lot of the blockbuster deals like 1-2 days before. This deal was a lot of, okay, well, we need this defenseman. Let's go out and grab this defenseman, or we need a forward. Let's grab a forward, or whatever.
Yeah, I think Taylor Hall is easily the biggest acquisition and going to the Bruins.
Oh yeah,
but I think that was pretty.
The Washington trade sure made headlines, but it was just weird. It was like, oh, okay.
The Washington trade, I'm still upset about. Even though it happened, Monday? We're recording this Wednesday. So it happened about 2 days ago, and I'm still upset about it. I love that Anthony Mantha scored a goal.
The reason is the caps were high on it. The reason you can tell Verano was going to be moved because he was a healthy scratch, in the few games before the trade deadline, I think. And plus, they were really high on Anthony Mantha, apparently. And what they did do was they threw in Richard Panik and they threw in all these picks. Is what really kind of soured that deal.
I don't know if Anthony Mantha is really worth that heavy of a side. I think if they threw in Jacob Vrana
for Mantha, but Mantha is good. You overpaid Mantha, but Mantha's good. He's one of the best players in the Red Wings easy.
I think you throw in
all of a sudden
Vrana, I think you throw in Vrana, Panik, and a second rounder, and you got Mantha.
I would have gone Vrana first for Mantha. I wouldn't have thrown in Panik.
Well, I think Panik was just a contract move. I think Panik was just a contract move because his contract.
I think it was, okay, we have Panik. Do you want him? Sure. Get our money's worth out of it. Okay.
I don't know. I want to know how that conversation went down on the phone call between Steve Yzerman and Brian McClellan. What went down there?
Yeah.
That led to
I think one of them, I think maybe at some point, I think it may have been Washington, just said, hey, we have, what are you willing to take for Mantha? And probably Detroit ended up saying, hey, you have Rana, we'll take. And then they said, okay, do you want Panik? Sure. Is that enough? No. What else do you have? Picks. That's kind of pretty much, I think that's probably how it went down. It's along those lines of, okay, well, do you have some picks? We have some picks for rebuilding. Yes. Sure, those picks are going to be low, but I think Detroit just is gathering picks just so they have a lot. Because again, they're not going to be competitive. They're going to get close, but they're not going to be competitive.
I don't even think the Caps are going to use those picks to really do anything major. I don't see them getting in a top 20 pick.
This is kind of your last shot. Ignore that. This is your last kind of shot at a cup. And I think that although I don't think they're going as all in as they need to, they're just saying, let's just take a stab at it before we truly tear everything down and rebuild. Because you're on the verge of a rebuild and you're starting to show the signs of it. But as of right now, you need to take one last stab in this core before you scrap it and do it over again. Because a lot of your core is in their 30s now, and that won't last very long.
Yeah, and I was expecting a goalie change. I was expecting Samsonov to get traded, and I really didn't want that to happen. And I'm surprised it didn't happen. I'm surprised they didn't trade Craig Anderson for some Dubnik. I'm surprised they didn't pick up a guy like Dubnik, even though his contract is
your goaltending core is good enough already. Your goaltending core is good enough already. And as of late, with the situation, I don't expect them to trade Anderson. He's just on the taxi squad for really nothing. He's just getting paid to sit there. But as of right now, your goaltending core is good enough for what you need. You're not going all in on a cup. You're not at like what you were 2015, 16, 17. You're kind of on the edge. You just need two goaltenders just to go through the season. And you have Lundqvist who should make an impact when he's fully healthy, maybe. And again, you have and because Henrik Lundqvist is out and you need a third goaltender, picked up Craig Anderson practically nothing. If they decided to get rid of Anderson, that would have been a whole other mess to go through to get another goaltender to end up replacing Anderson, which would have just went on this whole debacle of crap. How do we do this?
Oh yeah, speaking of going all in, what about the Leafs? The Leafs made like how countless moves in the trade deadline and in free agency.
Honestly, yeah, David. If this was a year or two ago, that would have been the Leafs would have looked stupid dangerous. But as of right now, I didn't think their moves were all that great. Sure, they picked up Foligno, who's kind of what they need. But my way of describing the Leafs' kind of trade deadline would be fixing the issues that they have, but not with the right piece. They needed goaltending. They picked up David Riddick, who will serve as backup. Okay, and then they have, for example, Nick Foligno, who's kind of what they need, but also kind of not because he's kind of making more than what he's producing.
Yeah. And I think it's mixed emotions between people who think the Leafs are cup caliber and not cup caliber. One, because of the division that they're in.
Yeah.
Like, people don't think that. I don't even think the Leafs are going to make it out of the division, if I'm being completely honest. They're going to pull a Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't.
They're going to pull a Leafs in the playoffs.
Honestly, the teams that have the strongest. Funny enough, in my opinion, the teams that have the strongest chance of making out of that division are the remaining three. Because if the Habs can get hot off of someone, they're good. If if McDavid and Draisaitl go off again, they can make it out. And if Winnipeg literally just keeps on trucking using their first line, they're good to get into the division.
Yeah.
The Leafs need to have a miracle to get past any one of those teams to get hot.
Now we're going to have a bunch of Leaf fans that are going to comment on that. Oh, no, we've got like the best. Yeah. We've got Austin Matthews. We've got Mitch Marner. We've got John Tavares. But I think that first two lines.
I had a Leafs fan on Instagram the other day try to argue that the Habs haven't been competitive in the past, like in forever. And I sat there like, are you dumb? Like, I literally went through the Habs playoff history and took a bunch of it and just shoved it onto my comment, just like, this is our record in the playoffs. This is how he's been the past 10 years. I don't think he's even responded to me yet.
And you haven't won a playoff series since what, 2004? Nice job, Leafs.
Yeah,
good job.
Exactly. We've been more competitive than
and the Habs made it to what, the Eastern Conference Final in 2015?
14. 15, we got second in the round, I believe, and then we tanked after that. No, 17, we made it to like the first round. But
I did like the Pittsburgh win though last year. I like that. I like that a lot. That was the Habs that was like a solid team, and now they've just gotten better. They're facing up against the Leafs, which is a good team in that division.
Quote unquote, yeah. Quote unquote, I would say quote unquote better this year, only because the team looks better on paper. But the problem is that we've just lost all momentum in January, after January, and it's just been like trying to stay afloat, which is a little unfortunate. But this team, in my opinion, still has a fair bit to go. We'll be contenders probably in a couple more years, maybe. But right now, I don't expect us to win a cup. It'll be nice if we win a cup, but I'm not expecting us to. Only because, again, we've just been off and on. If we do, great. If we don't, I don't really care. We need to win it soon because of Price and Weber. But at the end of the day, I'm not expecting us to. Only because we're a few years out of.
And you're going to go up against teams in the playoffs that will clobber any team that comes out of that North Division, Colorado or whatever team, whatever format the NHL makes it. If it's East, North.
You can't judge right now. You can't. I'm sure it's going to be how it usually is. So, like, you have to get out of your division. Then you'll face. So you have to get out of the division. So since there's 4 teams that make it, you'll get out of that division. Then you'll face up against the divisional rivals, and then you'll face up in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's probably how it'll go. But you can't judge it right now because we don't know how Toronto will face against Colorado, or we don't know how Montreal will face against, I don't know, the Flyers, even though they're not in the playoff spot. But like, actually, maybe they are. I have no idea. But like, you get my point, right? It's just too hard to tell. That's why no one's had a cup favorite yet, because it's just too hard to tell.
Well, my cup favorite right now is easily Colorado, but they've been like literally clobbering teams. Like they are like the best Colorado Avalanche that I've personally watched as a hockey fan. The best version of the Colorado Avalanche. Same thing with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Although again, we don't know how they'll face up against teams in the East. Although it's a tough battle this year to tell, since they've mainly only just clobbered their division, which may be crappy. Who knows? But actually, I think their division is really good this year, because it's like what, Minnesota's up there as well.
Yeah,
I think there's
I'd say they're about mid-range.
Yeah. But honestly, I have no idea, because it's just too hard to tell. Because it's like who knows? There's like 1,000 different options for a cup favorite this year.
Well, I think Boston's just kind of in everybody's talk, only because it's the Bruins and they can literally snap in the playoffs with a blink of an eye and they will be gone.
The problem is, though, they're in a very similar scenario to the Habs. They're in a very, very similar scenario to the Habs. As in, not because they're in the midst of a rebuild, because they're sitting in fourth. They could, in the blink of an eye, fall out of that playoff spot. And in a very tight division like the East and the North, it's like, oh God, like all of a sudden, like we're Habs and Bruins fans for the first time, we're sitting there praying they both make it.
You see, the North Division was tight for the 2, 3, and 4, but now it's kind of open up to who's going to take the Leaf spot, because Leafs were like running away with that division in like the first half of the season.
Well, they've had their slumps, but when they've had their slumps, everyone else has had their slumps. So it's just kind of been dead set on those four. Although Calgary is making a run at Montreal right now, I'm kind of scared.
Well, then you gotta put your boys in some responsibility, and they gotta step up and make a few plays, because or else that team's gonna plummet down.
We traded for some good defensemen, so.
Oh, I don't hate the Habs. I like the playoff Canadians, because I think they're more entertaining than like the playoff Leafs, because they'll come to play. The Leafs are going to go and expect a win because they're the best in the division, ish kind of.
Yeah.
I think Montreal's the underdog in the North Division. I honestly think that they're one of the top in that division. Now, will they make to the Stanley Cup final?
If they get hot, no.
Probably not.
Maybe according to stats, they have like a somewhat of an okay chance, but depends if the East falls apart in the first round. If the East falls apart in the first round, every big team gets knocked out, fine. But if every big team makes it, we're done for. We're pretty much done.
Now, what I think we should do on the podcast is we both do a bracket, and while we're on the podcast, we share our brackets. Like once the playoff format comes out and everything's like confirmed, and we go over like who our favorite is at that point, and then we see at the end of it who was right and who was the closest, and we get like points per round. I think that's actually pretty sick. Like just going through it,
pretty cool.
Like going through it on like right on here, like just analyzing the team. Like I don't think they're gonna do very well against this team. They've got a couple threats like this and this record against that.
That would be cool.
I don't know, but all we know is that Buffalo.
Honestly, I actually do have my cup favorites. It's the Thrashers. Been pretty good this year. Didn't do much at the deadline. We didn't do a lot, but honestly, I think we have a chance.
I think they have a chance, man. I think they got a chance, and I mean, if you keep playing NHL 03, then you're good. You're good.
Exactly.
We just
I have NHL 06. I bought a GameCube over COVID, and I've actually loved it. It's been pretty solid to me so far, and it's funny enough, like NHL 06, I've just been like grinding NHL 06 for some reason. I mean, I forgot about save card, like save cards too, so that's been a little annoying. But you have to watch what you save. But other than that, it's been all right so far. Now that I say that,
all we know is that Buffalo is. All we know is I think Buffalo's 4 losses away from being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs already.
Didn't someone we know say that Buffalo's are already eliminated?
I don't think they're like already, but I think they're pretty damn close to being already eliminated. And at that point, do they just like toss it out the window and go to like Quebec? Like, all right, boys, see you later. This ain't working no more. Because Eichel's gone.
Exactly.
Eichel's gone.
Yeah, well, Eichel's done.
Jeff Skinner ain't gonna do
If they
nothing.
don't trade, if Buffalo doesn't trade Eichel over the summer, I'd be honestly surprised. Like, because he's done well, but not what everyone was expecting. Because everyone was expecting this big superstar in Buffalo, and he's been okay. He's been the star in Buffalo, but he hasn't been all that great.
Well, I don't think he's been the star in Buffalo because he has no weapons. He has nothing. He has Jeff Skinner.
Well, it's the same as Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin's been good, but he has nothing around him.
Yeah.
Like poor Dylan Larkin's just sitting there in Detroit, just wasting his career away. He's been in the league for how long now? Like easily a couple of years.
Man, he just lost Anthony Mantha. Well, I guess he does have. Well, I think it's Luke Glendington. Is that the guy's name? That's like
Luke Glendening.
Yeah, I think that's his name. Well, like the only reason I know his name because he was like number 1 in face-off percentage for like half the season.
Oh,
and he's been like an absolute face-off stud. I don't know why that's not how I know who he is, but
he's been a good face-off guy. Doesn't do much else, but he's been a good face-off guy.
I mean, he wins the face-offs, and that's what he's celebrating in Toronto because you don't.
That's how I remember who Luke Glendening is too, because I saw a tweet joking about how the only thing I was going to offer him for is his face-offs.
Oh yeah, I sometimes I just go on like the NHL app and I just check like stats and who's leading in these stats. I'm actually going to confirm if he's leading right now. There's no way he is.
Face-off. Detroit, I feel like he's second. Oh, who's first then?
He's second. Oh, I need to turn my brightness. But Patrice Bergeron is first.
Oh,
why is my calculator on the screen? There we go. You can kind of see it.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like Patrice Bergeron. Ryan O'Reilly. Hello. This guy doesn't win any faceoffs.
I honestly, I'm kind of done with the Blues. Like, I was done with them as soon as last season started. And like Ryan O'Reilly is great, but he's been on 2 terrible like Colorado and Buffalo teams. Like, I'm just done. Like,
yep.
I'm honestly.
I am so on your page right now.
I don't care.
I am so on your page.
Done with the Blues. Like, no offense to Blues fans, but like, great, but you want a cup. Like tons of teams do that every year. Like
Gloria.
No one cares about Washington anymore. Now that they won, cool, we got Ovi a cup. Get out of
here. Gloria is over. It's over. They ain't winning another cup for another however many years. And the Leafs are gonna break the streak this year.
I can agree with you on that one.
And the Leafs are gonna break the streak.
Wait, what did you say, sir?
The Leafs are gonna break the streak of the longest cup drought. I think it's 54.
Oh yeah,
now.
I thought you meant like the Leafs are gonna break the streak and win. I'm like, were we just talking about them being like one of those teams that we thought were gonna get out?
No. The longest cup drought. I think they're on 54 this year, and it'd be kind of funny to see them. No, maybe it's tie the record, but even though if you tie the record, it still counts as beating it in my opinion.
I think the team with the oldest cup drought is either the Lions or the Cardinals. I think it's the Cardinals or the Lions in the NFL. That currently hold the longest championship streak, because Detroit hasn't won since 57, and the Lions haven't won since the mid 40s, I think. And then it's the Leafs right after that.
Yeah,
I think so. You know what's funny? Leafs fans, I always love Leafs fans saying that, oh yeah, you guys won all your cups before like whatever. And I'm like, you guys literally won all of your cups before the expansion era. Like they won every cup, and in the summer of 67, then the teams were introduced to expand. It wasn't right after. It was like right that summer they added the teams.
Well, the Leafs playoffs in 67, it started off in the semifinals. You only had to win 2 series.
Oh, that's it.
Only had to win 2. You had to win. You had to face.
Well, because again, the division was teams. There was like 0
Stanley Cup final. I don't know what Leaf fans want to do. Like now you have to get through 4 teams. You have to win. What's 16 games? You have to win 16 games now. Yeah. You ain't gonna win 16 games if you're playing like the Leafs. Leafs are gonna pull the Leafs eventually. They're gonna lose in Game 7 to Columbus again, Game 5 to Columbus. That was still that was good.
That was Game 5 against Columbus.
Yeah, because it was a 3.
That was a very interesting series.
It was
best of 3. Yeah.
Well, I remember watching the game where they came back from think it was 3-0 and won 4-3. And then they came back in the
Oh
third
yeah,
period and won in
3-0. Yeah, it
overtime.
was. Yeah, they both came back from 0-3 leads. Columbus and then Toronto did it, and then Toronto just choked in that last game and lost.
Oh yeah, game 5. Oh, what they lose? Oh, 3-0.
I found it, and the funny thing is, I absolutely, again, we both live in the Toronto area. I absolutely hate living here for a reason because all they do is talk about how the Leafs team is great, and like literally then they skim over the rest of the league. It's like, hello, like where's the other 30 teams in this league?
Well, the top of the division, we got the best goal scorer in the league. We got Austin Matthews. He's gonna score 50 goals.
You know what the funny thing is? I've always said this for a little while. Matthews is kind of a weird looking dude. He has a big forehead and a very like far back hairline, and he has long hair, plus the mustache.
The muzzy.
That reminds me. I remember there was one year where I think it was NHL 20 where William Nylander looked ticked in this photo, and he had the weirdest look on his face in the photo, and he smiled this year, which I was kind of laughing about. But he had just this look of just, I don't want to be here.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Did he have he had
William
like super
Nylander
long hair
photo where he just looks ticked the entire time?
Yeah, that looks like he had a mullet.
He looks just ticked in the photo. Looks strange. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can try to find that.
John Merrill. Speaking of mullets, John Merrill, best mullet ever, by the way. It literally looks like he could hide it so well, and then you just see it out the back. It's so good.
Well, the mullet's like, what's his face? Rock like a super good mullet. It was
Yager.
Yes,
Yager.
thank you.
Yager had a huge one.
Yeah,
Yager was known for that mullet. He was just like, this is my mullet now.
I can see the picture you're talking about now.
Just the salute too.
Sitting there just looking at the screen.
He's just ticked. Like
he just looks
pissed
off.
There's no way around it.
He's probably on the Leafs. That's why. That would make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And then he got shipped off. Wait, no, I was gonna say he got shipped off to Pittsburgh, but that was Kasperi Kapanen. That was Kapanen.
I always remember. Too. I don't think of Kapanen for being on the Leafs. I think of Kapanen for his World Junior goal when he did the wraparound and then and then won it for Finland.
Yeah.
And what was it? I remember about that goal. Oh yeah, everyone was claiming him to be a sniper, and then he did nothing but be a goon in Toronto and Pittsburgh. He like did nothing but just hit. He just took on a goon role and just demolished everyone.
Bro, I don't know why goon in Toronto reminds me of. I think it was the 2017 playoff series when Nazem Kadri hit Ovechkin and like below the waist, and like it was like a hip check.
Oh yeah.
And like launched his leg in the air. Oh, yeah. I remember I was at a pub.
Seems like forever ago that playoff series.
That's what I mean, man. Like I want to see a Caps Leafs series again. I want to see it because it's just so.
I totally blipped over that entire series. It was just like all those years of like with the Leafs like first made the playoffs in like 16, 17. I think it was 17 and 18. I just blipped it over it until about like a couple years ago. And I was like, wait, what? I remember that series. They were terrible.
Well, that's when the Caps were like super dominant, like President's Trophy 2016, President's Trophy 2017. Like, that was the dominant Washington Capitals, and then the one year didn't win the President's Trophy.
You didn't win the President's Trophy in 18 because you guys sucked like a little bit at the end and then took off with the. Because you guys like sucked because you wanted them to suck like a little bit at the end, and they did, and then you guys took off.
Do you know what I remember every time I hear like 2016 Caps? I remember the YouTube video that we filmed at your house, and it was 2016, and you were chirping me about the Caps not losing the second round.
Yes.
And the one thing I remember me saying is the President's Trophy curse. That is the one thing I remember saying.
The only team I think to ever break that curse was the 2013 Hawks, who again shortened season. Basically just ran away with the season, and I think beat the Bruins. Yes, the Yager-led Bruins. That was it. Gosh, I know too much about championships.
Well, yeah, but that was the year the Chicago Blackhawks were like a literal dynasty. Literal dynasty.
They were the midst of a dynasty.
They were killing every team.
I remember that like era of Blackhawks, and I just thought, oh, the Blackhawks again? Like, really?
Yeah.
I remember seeing on CP24 saying the Chicago Blackhawks have won this time. Like, really? Yeah, it was 2015, but I'm like, really? The Hawks again? I remember the Kings. I had the John Cherry DVD from the Kings, and I used to from that like whole season. And I always used to skip over the Habs loss. I was always so mad at that. And then they put freaking Peter Budaj in that for that series against the Rangers for the last half of it. I was so mad. I remember being so mad afterwards. You put Peter Budaj and I think Mike Condon. I remember, I can't say what I used to call him, but I used to make fun of his last name.
Oh, bro, Peter Budaj. That's a blast from the past. And Mike Condon. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That was like, I remember. I need this.
I got reminded of the monster from
shotgun blast.
Wow.
Damn. That somehow got on my glasses. How?
But the monster, the goalie, I think his last name is Gustafson. I can't think of his first name. Goalie for the Leafs.
Jonas Gustafson?
Yes. Somebody said that you're acting like the monster. I was like, oh my God. That's when I was a Leafs fan. Jonas Gustafson.
Jonas Gustafson. I remember someone called him that was Don Cherry called him Jonas Gustafson. I was like, what?
Gustafson.
Oh, here's a blast in the past. Jonas Hiller. I remember Jonas Hiller.
Oh my!
He was a weird goalie, but I do remember him in Anaheim. I remember him in Anaheim a lot, and then I don't remember his Calgary names, but I do remember his time in Anaheim. Ilya Brizgalov as well. I don't remember much of Brizgalov. I remember him maybe on the Flyers a little bit. I don't. Not that much.
Oh, what's his name? Play for Mika Kiprasov.
Kiprasov, yes.
That was I actually
Kiprasov. There were some weird goals.
I have a poster of him behind me.
What are the goals I remember? I remember Semyon Varlamov on the Avs. He played for Washington at one point too. He was a good Caps goalie for a long time. Yep. Yeah, that was the Varlamov that choked to the Habs in 2010.
Yeah,
you guys were like the favorites, and we blew right over you guys with Yaroslav Halak. Yeah, that's a boss in the past.
What is happening with
ironic he's a Bruin now, or is he still a Bruin?
Halas or Halak?
Getting old.
Oh, Halak's still a Bruin, but like, what is happening with the Bruins goaltending right now? It's so weird. Rask is out.
Well, Halak and Rask are hurt. But they're just throwing in prospects at this point, like Dan Vlader and the other guy. Dan Vlader, fun fact, here's a reference to Atlanta. He was an Atlanta Gladiator for like a little while. He was in the Bruins system in Atlanta because the Gladiators are an ECHL team, which is kind of hilarious. Thrashers got demoted, but still.
Dan Vladar and I don't know his first name, but Swayman.
Is it Vlader or Vladar? I never know how to pronounce
Vladar.
Swayman, yes, that's it. Swayman.
I don't know his first name. Why do I feel like it's Jimmy, but it's not Jimmy?
It's Jimmy or Justin or something like that. Yeah.
That's okay. That's gonna annoy me. Okay, so
Google it.
Swayman. Oh yeah, it's Swayman. What's his first name? Jeremy Swayman.
Jeremy Swayman, that was it. My God, I remember that goaltending.
This guy.
I just looked outside. Hold on. I just looked outside and saw dark, and it immediately reminded me of the podcast we did with that bowler, Jason Belmonte.
It did, yeah.
That was. I remember filming that in the corner. I was over there in the corner of the room filming it because I had to reach either a plug or the Wi-Fi or something like that. It was like the weirdest setup too.
Bro, that was such a funny episode. The guy is such a nice guy.
A really good episode. And he was a good guy.
He's such a nice guy.
I don't know where. I think I had a feeling he was in Australia. I can't remember where he was, but it was so funny because his kid ran in at one point. Yeah, and like the kid was sitting there wandering around, and then they kicked him out. Yeah,
I remember these. I love how he called it too. He called it. He goes, if a kid walks in, just ignore it. Literally, as soon as we start the episode, the kid walks in. Star
walks right in.
Star of
because here's the thing: kids see a door closed, go, "Ooh, wonder what's in here." Exactly.
What's in here?
Because kids see a door closed and think, "Ooh, what's in here?"
Okay,
it's like that old saying. It's like what was it? Oh yeah, it's like if you make something illegal or you like close something off, like humans are gonna want to get it. Like what prohibition was in the 20s. It's like, you made alcohol legal? Yeah, let's just take booze.
Yeah. So to end off the episode, who are your winners and losers from the 2021 NHL trade deadline?
Winners. That's a hard one for me because again, a winner trade deadline could be Boston, but they didn't do much outside of Hall, and they didn't fix a lot of their issues outside of that.
Well, the winner
But I
could
do
be
have one
Taylor
loser.
Hall.
Yeah. Winnipeg honestly is a loser for me. They didn't fix majority of their issues. They didn't fix a lot of their issues. And the only person they got was Jordy Ben, who's like slower than Weber. And Weber's been slow this year. He's been like a Yugo trying to go up a hill. Who are my winners? Who are your winners? Let's see. Who are your winners?
Winners are gonna be Detroit, only because they got two solid players in Jacob Vrana and Richard Panik, and a first round pick and a second round pick, and only lost one of their star players.
Detroit's a good one.
Now I don't.
Although they did lose Merrill before the deadline, and it stands for dirt cheap nothing.
Yeah, well, I don't think necessarily that the Caps are losers, only because they got Anthony Mantha, and they're not going to use the first round pick for anybody that's going to like star in their thing. So I think the Caps aren't losers, but they definitely gave up a lot. There's not losers.
Funny thing is, you're one of the only Caps fans I've seen. There's a reason why I'm not a huge fan of the Caps community in general. Because Caps fans are very defensive. They are very, very defensive people. Same with the Leafs. No, Leafs are just idiots. Like the Caps fans are very defensive, and they tried to make it seem like they won that trade on Twitter. And you're the only fan who's been depressed that they traded him. No, we got Anthony Mantha. Oh yeah, like Vrana wasn't playing. I'm like, still you gave up Vrana for Mantha. Which one do you pick?
I understand why people thought he won the trade because he scored and got an assist last night on Tuesday. Against the Flyers, but for the love of God, calm down. It's early. You can't switch your mind now.
Exactly.
Just calm down.
Yeah,
that could be the only goal he scores.
You guys did, in my opinion, you guys didn't do that well in the trade, but you did gain Anthony Mantha, so it's kind of in the middle. Detroit did give up Mantha, but they did get two solid players in pick. So Detroit,
Detroit needs that, and the Caps don't need that.
I don't know if I have a clear winner, only because some teams did really great, but beforehand, a lot of teams did crap. Like, a lot of teams did a lot before the deadline, didn't do much on the deadline, or some teams just did flat out nothing. Florida, I don't think I ever saw like that big of trades from Florida at all. Montreal did something. And we were discussing this on our hockey group chat, but you were saying that you wanted your GM to do something, and then he did something.
I spoke way too soon. Way too soon, because that was like at like 2:56, and I didn't get the word that he got traded until like 3:15. I was like, oh wait,
I saw it on Twitter. I was the first one to know about it from our group. I saw it on Twitter, and then I sent it to our group chat. And then as we were texting about, oh, is this true? Like, oh, did they actually trade Vrana for Mantha? I heard it on Trade Center behind me, and I sent it saying it was true. And then literally a minute later, everyone else started spamming it.
Yeah. Well,
I sat there, I saw it on Twitter. I'm like, oh my God.
I mean, I was in a PlayStation party with one of my buddies who's also a Habs fan. And we were just literally just refreshing everything at 3:00. We're like, all right, it's over. Nothing else going to happen. And then we get another text.
There's backlog trades you have to remember too. Backlog trades are insane.
Yeah. And we get a notification from another one of my buddies who's literally on track with everything. He'll get back a trade within a minute, and he texted me group chat. He goes, Mantha to Washington. I'm like, hold on, what did you say? Hold on, huh? And you said for Panik.
Well, I'm pretty on point. I'm pretty on point too. I try to be, because I'm on Twitter a lot, so I usually see the notification of this person to Washington. I'll send it, and then the funny thing is, I try to be, and then all of a sudden, one of our buddies who's that sports guy tries to come in and do the exact same thing, but it's to be the most random signing or something like that. I'm like, okay. Well, I try to get trades. Trades are big, but
well, everybody wants to be that guy that tells everybody else about the news, because you want to hear their
exactly.
You want to hear their reactions. You want to be that guy. Yeah. But you also you don't want to
be that guy to break the news.
Overdo it.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to overdo it, because you
come. If I see a trade on Twitter or whatever, I'll send it.
Well,
I'll see this person in Washington, this person in Montreal, or whatever.
Yeah, when you come up to somebody and you say, "You ever heard of this?" or like, "Did you hear about this?" Like it's like you want to be the
Yeah,
first person to tell them, and usually people
exactly. To
know.
break the news.
Yeah,
What is it that in my opinion, the worst thing when it comes to Twitter talk or like sending stuff is saw that. I hear that all the time and I'm like, thanks.
thanks,
Thanks. You could react
thanks,
to it, but
buddy.
thanks. Exactly.
You don't need to
Like
comment that.
good to know you saw it. Like nice.
Congratulations.
What it, exactly. Just round of applause. You saw it before I did.
Congratulations. Or you saw it about 30 seconds before. Like,
I remember what was it that I oh god, but the Verona trade. I remember seeing it and I thought, oh god. And then I saw that, and I remember seeing below the first and second round picks, and there may be more. And I sat there, I'm like, if Washington gave up more than what they already did, they immediately lost this trade. Like there's no, because I remember hearing the trade, it was Verona Ponic for things, and then I heard about the first and second round pick, and then I heard there was maybe more. There wasn't, but I thought, I'm like, oh god.
I had a gut
Like this
feeling.
is not going to end well.
I had a gut feeling that they traded Kuznetsov, and I was gonna lose my mind if they did that.
They traded Kuznetsov for Ponic. That'd be the stupidest thing they could do.
I'm
Like, that'd have been
okay
the
with
stupidest thing.
Verona.
I get why they traded Verona because there was signs. Like I get that because there were signs they were going to trade Verona, but I was like, they traded Kuznetsov. Like
Well, there were signs, and he
I could
Brian
see them
Mahone
maybe
released a
trading
statement.
Kuznetsov. Yeah, I could see them trading Kuznetsov for a younger Kuznetsov, maybe, but they would never trade Kuznetsov for something like less than a first round pick. Like
Yeah.
that would be nuts.
Well, I don't even know what they would like. Who would they want for Evgeny Kuznetsov? I can see them trading him in the next few years when
Younger
his contract is
prospect,
up.
like a good young contract, like easily 1 year deal left on Kuznetsov trade. Like younger, like maybe a younger version of Rana, first round pick, maybe from like a somewhat okay team. Just just trade him for assets that would be equivalent enough to get you good marks and that to get you high up in the draft. Maybe I wouldn't never see them getting rid of Ovechkin. I could see him not resigning for sure, but I would never see him. I can see him not resigning only because he's starting to show the signs of okay, he's having a baby, he's having young kids, he start to look a bit older, he's like I can see it, but like if he signs for maybe 1-2 more years to break the record, I wouldn't be surprised. But if he also doesn't resign and says, "Okay, I'm done," then I also wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did say he has 5 years left in the tank in an interview, and I was like, "Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Calm down.
Yeah,
calm down."
But he also players say they have that, and then they have something happen to them, and it's like, oh no, I can't do this. So he may resign for 2-3 more years, see how he feels. He may resign for 2 years, see how he feels, and then sign for more. But that who knows at this point.
Yeah.
But Crosby might go on forever. Crosby's still kicking. He's like, it's like he's the best part about two-way like those like two-way players like Crosby is they can just go on forever. You can just continue to extend them for deals and those continue playing players. Like, all right, thanks. It was like Shane Doan. They just signed him for like multiple deals and just like, hey, play.
Yep.
Do things.
And that'll pretty much do it
Shane Doan stole their points later too.
Yeah, and that'll pretty much do it for today's episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you haven't already, hit that sub button below the video. If you haven't already, hit the like button too if you guys enjoy our content and want more of these types of podcasts in the future, and leave in the comments below who you want us to maybe reach out to or who you guys want to see on the show. We want to hear from you guys, and if you've made it here, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you all watching the entire podcast or listening to the entire podcast, whatever you're doing, whether you're on a walk with your dog or whatever, or yourself. You could be on a walk with yourself and listening to the Underrated podcast. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. As long as you are tuning into it, I respect it, and we appreciate you. Appreciate you for giving us a view. And that's all that matters. All right? That's all that matters, that you're here, that you're taking time to listen to us.
Exactly. You listened.
Yeah. So
we listen to us talk about nothing.
Just listen to us just ramble on about the dumbest things. We literally mentioned a GameCube in a trade deadline episode. You don't know where these are gonna go, but
there you go.
But that's the fun part. You don't know where we're gonna mislead the conversation. Exactly. You don't know where we're gonna mislead it.
Exactly.
So yeah, we thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.